Hey guys, it's me. I'm going to talk to you today about some things that are on my mind, and we're going to do just a casual little chit chat, and we'll just see what happens. It might be a stream of consciousness, but the overall theme of this video is in the title. We'll figure it out. Okay, so some things are on my mind. We've already talked about this about a million times, but I've been away for a couple years, and I was in monk mode. And since coming back, I'm on social media, and I'm on Instagram for the first time since 2016, 2017 maybe. And I'm coming in fresh. I'm coming in like an empty glass of water. My mind is pretty clear because I live a monastic lifestyle. And I've got some things that I want to share with you since coming back because I'm seeing all this stuff from fresh eyes, with fresh eyes. And even before, I never really got on Instagram much. I'm using it a lot more now to kind of connect with you guys. The past couple days, I had some really long meditations. I had an 80-minute meditation this morning, and for the past couple mornings, I needed at least an hour meditation. Part of that ties in with me being on Instagram a little bit more. So I want to just talk about the impact that Instagram has on the conscious mind, on our minds, how to use it effectively without losing your mind, and how to use it as a tool for your betterment to improve your life. And also, I've got some other things that I want to address just about consciousness and just things in general that came up for me as I was spelunking in some meditation. So with getting on Instagram, I've noticed a couple things. First thing is, if you're using Instagram the way that they want you to use it, you're losing your mind. And I know there's an epidemic of anxiety, depression, ADHD, and here's my little old me. But my opinion is a lot of that stuff comes from the misuse of these kinds of devices, or of these kind of platforms, of Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And look, I love being back on Instagram, and I love interacting with you guys. Like, it's been amazing to see your faces, to hear your feedback, to see recipes that you guys made. That's the best part of Instagram, is connecting with people you love and you care about. However, I want to give a couple guidelines that I think, just from me, I'm playing around with it. I'm kind of seeing, okay, like for instance, I didn't know what the Discover page was. Like I said, I haven't been on it in years. I'm like relearning Instagram because I don't want to go on there looking like a fuddy-duddy, like messing stuff up. However, look, the homepage, the Discover page, it's terrible. Stay away from it. So this is coming from somebody who's been pretty much in monk mode. I might as well have been in a cave in the Himalayas. My consciousness is so clear, and my mind is so it's never been clearer in my life. I've never been in such a grounded, peaceful, connected place where I can see these things with a lot of clarity. And we all kind of know that these things can be misused. Instagram can be misused. But I want to come right off the gate and say, if you're using Instagram, which I don't think you should quit using Instagram, use Instagram. But if you're using Instagram, stay off of that Discover page, man. Stay off of it. The Discover page is the equivalent of opening your brain up to it's the equivalent of going to a flea market and opening your brain up and saying, who wants to get in here? Anybody? Everybody? Come on into my brain. Come on into my brain. And that's what the Discover page is. Like, wide open, come on in, you're all invited. It doesn't matter what you've got, if you've showered or not, jump into my mind, okay? We don't want to do that. We want to be very vigilant with Instagram. And jumping ahead to my 80-minute meditations. So, after being on Instagram, to kind of do my due diligence and understand the platform and understand the best way that I can use it to offer what I have to offer to you guys, I found a really funky feeling in my system. I felt a funkiness. And that's because I had to go through, I wanted to go through all of the user experience, like what the typical Instagram user might be experiencing when they use it. And this is not news to you. You know there's an explore page. You know that there's reels and stories and all that stuff. You know all this already. However, you might not be realizing how this stuff is impacting your state of being. So for me, like I said, I'm coming in like a fresh, clean slate, and I noticed a disharmony in my system from this platform. And I don't blame the platform because the platform was designed to be a stimulating, attention grabbing, dopamine inducing, kind of rave party for the brain. That's what it's designed to do. It's designed to keep us, in a constant state of stimuli so we crave these things. However, there is a complete disregard. A lot of people don't realize that there's energy in every single thing that you take in. There's energy exchange. It doesn't matter if it's a conversation you have with a stranger, a book that you're reading, something that the music you're listening to, everything you're taking in. It's nothing different than when you're eating your food. This stuff has an impact on us on a cellular level. So Instagram, while it's great, it's an amazing tool, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. You're taking in energies of people you don't know, and it's not even a controlled thing. Like, you can curate your feed, and I'll get to that in a minute too. But when you go to the explore page or even just your regular feed, you're kind of wide open to the energies of other people. I'll give you an example. So I went on the Discover page and I saw a Madonna clip. I love Madonna. It's been forever since I, checked in on her, but I saw Madonna was trending. And it's like, whoa, Madonna, there's Madonna. And the video is her, I'll put it in here if I can. It's just basically her high as a kite on something. And I see that clip, I go to her page, and I see her and Amy Schumer and Lil Wayne and whatever, and they're talking about her tour. And I'm like, cool, she's on a tour. But then my brain, this is what the mind is for. The mind is a computer. The mind is for thinking. The mind is for correlatives. The mind is for drawing similarities and correlatives. And it just constantly, if you give it something, it will constantly spider out to other topics. So my brain takes this clip of Madonna and says, I hope she's okay, because clearly she's on something. She might just be drunk. I don't know. I hope she's okay. Wonder what she's up to. I wonder what that's like. Well, I just start wondering about Madonna. Meanwhile, I'm in my apartment. Has no impact on my life. I don't care. I mean, I wish the best for her. But as far as my life goals, as far as my broad sweeping vision, as far as even the present moment right now, I don't want Madonna and I don't want my mind going to what's Madonna up to? What's Madonna's life like? Madonna, Madonna, Madonna. That's what the brain does. That's the nature of the mind. That's what it's a computer. That's what it runs off of the information you give it. So that's what another example. Here's another example. Kardashians. I don't know what's happening with Kardashians, but apparently the Kardashians lost a bunch of weight. And then there's a whole slew of videos of people commentating on the Kardashians losing weight and whether or not that's some racial thing, and it seems so very important, and it's just not. It's just not important. And then my brain is thinking about Kim Kardashian. Meanwhile, I don't want to be thinking about Kim Kardashian. I don't care about Kim Kardashian. I wish her all the best, but that's not the kind of thing I want my brain doing. So a lot of people say, I don't like meditation because my mind is too busy. Well, your mind probably is busy, but part of the reason our minds in a modern culture, why our minds are so busy, is because we're taking in a lot of stuff all the time. So just that one Madonna example and the Kim Kardashian example, it could take I don't know. I don't know. There's no exact number on this, but it could take anywhere from like an hour to 2 hours for my brain to finally settle down and let go of that thought and to process and assimilate. Your brain has to process and assimilate these things. So, so a lot of people are spending a lot of time on the random scroll of Instagram. And what I mean by that is the discover page, the random scroll of like the roulette of like you have no idea what's going to show up and you're just kind of doing it to distract yourself. That's dangerous, my friend. And here's why that's dangerous. The distracting part, like the reason that you're going to Instagram for distracting yourself is because there's something inside you don't want to be feeling, right? Whether it's boredom, which is kind of loneliness, not seeing yourself fully, feeling stressed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious, feeling angry, feeling depressed, feeling whatever. You might have something really heavy going on in your life, and that's totally fine to use distraction in measured and deliberate ways. But when we're going to distraction as a way to suppress and cover up, that's dangerous. That's building up energies inside your system. And then we get things like anxiety disorder and depression and ADHD. And these things are all just basically backlogs of suppressed emotions that are piled on with information that the brain wasn't meant to process at such speeds, you know? So that's one thing. And another thing is most of the stuff on Instagram, on the random feed stuff, is other people's pain. So you might be watching somebody who's, you know, like a hustle boss babe. This is a thing. And I love and respect the hustle, man. I love and respect the hustle. The Chicago girl in me, man, I love it. Go get it. Go get that. Go get that cheddar. Go get that hustle. Get it. Get it, girl. But there's this boss babe culture that is basically a cover up for a feeling of inadequacy that comes from the core, like in the heart. And then you're taking in other people's suppressing their personality structure. You're taking in people's personality structure, and it's like, I wake up and I do what it takes until I finally, make it, and whatever that means. And then basically bottom line is you're suppressing your pain and then you're taking in other people's suppression of their pain, and it's just like a big old pain party. It's a big, Eckhart Tolle calls it a pain body, but you can experience this firsthand if you step away long enough and then you come back into it. You're like, wow, you can see it with such clarity. Yeah, you can see it with such clarity. And side note, the boss babe thing, I hesitate to even branch off on this, but I'm going to branch off on this. We no longer need to use the term boss babe, because I feel like all women, we're inherently the power, figures. We're inherently powerful. We give birth. We can carry life inside of our bodies and give birth. The divine feminine. I feel like boss babe kind of cheapens the divine feminine, the boss bitch, the boss babe. I love that it's like, it's like an attempt to like lift us up, but we're so much more than just a boss babe. And for women who might be called to like stay at home and just take care of their family, like they're also boss babes, like I don't care for the boss babe culture. And I feel like that part of that is rooted in the pain body. And part of that is just, it's just a lot of ego stuff. And and so it's like ripples on the surface of life. And that's another part about Instagram that I needed to take that 80-minute meditation, because some things that you take in, some content that you take in is like very rich. Anything that's made from somebody's heart is rich, and I always try to do that. I always try to make things from my heart. And there are things on Instagram that are made with heart that are no different than like a video from Eckhart Tolle's. Again, I'm talking Eckhart Tolle, but like there's beautiful stuff on Instagram that's made with heart. But there's also stuff on Instagram that's like very much the surface level, just noise. It's noise and static. And that static and noise, if you happen to be a sensitive person, which if you're watching this far into the video, you are a sensitive person, that static and noise interferes with just the peace and the tranquility of the sea of our mind. It's just constant little pebbles thrown in, thrown in, thrown in, thrown in, thrown in. And it's just kind of like Doritos for the brain. I've said that term before, but I kind of feel like that's what it is. Some of it is Doritos for the brain. Yeah, and it gives me a feeling of like, it's just non-nutritive, like the non-nutritive stuff. So if you're ever feeling like you're in a disharmonious state, especially watch it, especially after you've taken a little bit of time on platforms like that where you're consuming, short form content and you're scrolling quickly. It's very probable that if you're feeling like you're in a funk after something like that, you've got a little thing that you've ingested something that's unsavory. It's kind of like food poisoning, but for up here. So you got like a drive-by yucky vibe, and it's kind of like stuck in your mental and your physical. And so we just got to be more vigilant. We just got to be vigilant with these kind of platforms, especially going forward, because these platforms are just getting more and more intelligent. They're able to kind of read what you're into and play on that interest, and then they've got you. So don't use these platforms as they're designed to be used, which is basically to just get your attention. And there's also tons of marketing, tons of ads, tons of sponsorships on Instagram, which is good and well. It's all good. But I want to talk about the marketing part too, because some of you guys are watching this are in business and you're on Instagram and you need to do Instagram for your business, or so they say. Like I'm not personally totally convinced that anybody needs to be on Instagram for business. I think it maybe is a popular and powerful tool for businesses. It could be, I think, for sure. But I don't know that it's necessary. It could be, it certainly could be, but I don't know. That's neither here nor there. What I'm going to say, my point is, the marketing aspect on Instagram, what I see so much of is, what's really trending on Instagram right now is the one best secret, the one best hack, this one system that I've discovered. And I'd spent $10,000 on ads last month, and I can tell you the one best secret and the one best trick and the one best funnel and all that stuff. I'm here to tell you right now, those marketing, that stuff, that messaging is just playing on the old paradigm. That old paradigm from like the early 2000s. Yeah, it could have worked back then, but it doesn't work anymore like that. And also, even back then, like a lot of those get quick marketing gimmicks, they're just gimmicks. The best way to make money on the internet, in my opinion, is to stop worrying about making money on the internet and to start giving people what they need and what they're wanting and create value in the marketplace. So if you happen to be watching this and you're in business and you're like, I need to be on Instagram for my business, and you happen to be seeing some of those ads, disregard all those ads. Almost all the ads on Instagram are just garbage and money grabbing. And it's just a bunch of nonsense. There's no one best hack, one best tool, one best step, one this or that. It's all coming from here. That's the only way you're ever going to make a single penny, at least one that you can hold on to, is if you make stuff from your heart. And that goes for everybody. Like, that goes for every field, whether you're on the internet or not. And I'm not an expert in making money necessarily, but I've done internet marketing stuff and I've done online stuff for long enough that I can tell you just none of those hacks are worth a damn, and ignore those marketing ploys. So anyway, let me get into, before I get off on like too much of a tangent, let me get into how to use Instagram, how I think it can be used in a healthy way without losing your damn mind. I think it's really good to stay away, like I said, from the explore page. The explore page is kind of like Russian roulette. You're kind of opening your brain up to everybody and you're saying, come on in, everybody. Doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you say, just come on in. Stay away from the explore page. Curate who you follow. You don't need to follow every single friend that follows you. No, you curate who you follow. Follow people who really add something to your life. Follow people that make you feel good. Follow people that lift you up, you know? And the reason that I say that is because, like I said, a lot of people maybe feel obligated to just follow friends that follow them, but people don't really notice, you know? So just follow a few people and be selective about who you follow. If that means you unfollow me and my friend, I'm okay with it. Just follow whoever makes you feel good, whoever makes your life rich, you know, follow your heart and who you follow. I follow 5 people. I've got 5 pages I follow, and those are all spiritual teachers. Because that is for me, that is a great way to get on Instagram and to just get some really nice quotes from Byron Katie or Baba Ram Dass or Eckhart Tolle or Thich Nhat Hanh. Those great teachers, those amazing sages that always have a really powerful message that they can get it in like 2 sentences and get it on Instagram, and it's like those 2 sentences will just hit you and like change your life. And that's another thing about Instagram is when you curate your feed and you get the right people that you're following. Oprah Winfrey is another great one. I don't actually follow her, but she's great too. But when you curate your feed and you're following people who really are like up there in consciousness, you could get something and it could snap you out of a thing, or it could change the direction of your day, or it could lift you right up out of a funk, or inspire an idea. And that's where Instagram and all these tools, all the social media platforms really do shine, is when you're following the right people and using it in the right way, and really curating, being deliberate about the way that you curate what you're taking in and who you're following. And at all costs, ignore the ads. Unfortunately, there's not like an Instagram Pro that I know of where we can get rid of all the ads. That sure will be nice if they offer it at some point. But for now, you curate who you follow, ignore the ads as best you can. That was my laundry. Ignore the ads as best you can. And yeah, so that's another thing. And then also I want to offer this: 1 day on, 2 days off. 1 day on, 2 days off. We don't need to be on Instagram every day, unless it's for your business, in which case, if you feel like you need to be on it every day, you do you, boo. Again, I'm no Instagram expert. I'm just offering some ideas and some ways that you can use it to avoid the pitfalls of an oversupply of dopamine, an oversupply of norepinephrine, an oversupply of stimuli, and the shrapnel casings of bad juju coming your way and attaching other people's pain bodies to your being. Yeah, 1 day on, 2 days off. The days where you are using Instagram, check for your motives. So if you're going 1 day on, 2 days off, it's very good, because then you're not beholden to those itches, those dopamine itches. When we're using these tools to scratch the dopamine itch on a constant basis, that's when you're no longer in control. That's when these things are controlling you. That's when Instagram has got your brain and it's got you by the scruff, and it's kind of dragging you around and giving you ads and telling you who to follow and telling you what to think and telling you how to feel up here. You gotta grab Instagram by the scruff and say, you're really cool, I like you a lot, but you're only gonna come around me when I say I need your input. When I say I want to hear from my friends and people that I love and care about. And you're only going to give me, Instagram, you're only going to give me the things that I want to see, that I know are going to fill my soul. That's it. And then also, I really do love the notifications. Notifications are great because then you get to see, who's interacting, who's commenting. You get to have a conversation. That's another great way to use Instagram, is to have a conversation with your friends and the people you follow and the people you like. And doing it in a deliberate, conscious way. We never use Instagram if it's for distraction. We never use it also if we feel like we're out of control of the choice, like I just said. So if it feels something like impulsive, like an impulsive thing, that's when you say, no, no, we don't use Instagram or any social media on impulse, because then we lose our agency. Then we lose our sovereignty. Then we lose our, our mind body connection. We want to always stay in control of those impulses and make sure that we're not using it to bury pain bodies and emotional energies that are trying to be felt, so that we can let them go and release them. So that's a little bit about some things that were on my mind about Instagram and just consciousness in general. And I hope this was helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Stream of consciousness. I might post some clips of this on Instagram and get my page shadow banned. So make sure, if you are on Instagram, make sure you follow me. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Leave me a comment. Leave me a like. Send me a message. I love hearing from you on Instagram. Come introduce yourself. I'm on there. I'm getting on there. I'm just doing it in a controlled and deliberate way. I encourage you to do that too. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.